What's going on, guys? You hear those waves? We're back to diving. So October is the start of octopus season. I think I mentioned that in my last video, and I'd be dumb not to take advantage of that and search for our more rare species. So somebody commented, Triton's Realm in fact, commented that I should search for blue ring octopus, and nobody challenged me to this, but I think it's a good idea for a few videos for octopus season. It's really rare. It's never here when it's not octopus season, and of the few octopus seasons that I've been here, I've only seen it once and I wasn't able to film it. They're really shy. I've seen wonderpuss and stuff like that, which I'd be happy to see again. So I'm gonna go search. This year is quite a bit different than usual. There's the pandemic, the lockdown. There's no tourists, man. I mean, look at this beach. You guys have seen this in previous videos. I got it to myself. But this is secret corner where it's basically the octopus hotspot, and where we see blue ring, mimic, wonderpuss, matodi, and coconut octopus. So it's a good spot to search. So there's no tourists here, and I have these dive sites to myself, which you would assume means I would find more octopus. They're not scared, but it also means that during the pandemic, the fishermen were kind of, you know, unregulated. So who knows? You never really know. And if I find the blue ring, I'll be really happy. Actually, if I see a mimic or a wonderpuss, I'll be really happy as well. But let's get in the water, and who knows? I'm definitely gonna see something. That's the good thing about Darwin. Maybe it's not a blue ring, but it's gonna be a good day anyway.
Critter hunter. So as you can see, there are a ton of garden eels on this dive, and as I get closer they just drop down and hide, so it was hard to film. But let me show you some footage I got on a different dive where I just set up the camera and left it, and this is basically what it looks like all around me right now. Just hard to film. This is a really drifty dive, so even if I left the camera by the garden eels, I would just get swept away and never find it again. So as you can see, it's a really mucky dive. If I don't find octopus, it's gonna be a little bit of a boring episode. I don't know if I'll see anything interesting. The drift is just pushing me along quite fast along the sandy bottom, and I'm just searching every little thing for an octopus. So out in the middle of the sand, I found this tire. It's kind of like an oasis out in the middle of the sands. And I went and checked it out, and there's just countless species on here. There's a giant crab. There's all these little feeder fish and lionfish eating them. In fact, I actually counted 13 lionfish on this big tire and about 3 different species of them. Yeah, this is just a cool little oasis. It goes to show that stuff could grow anywhere. It's just surprising that they could find somewhere to live out here in all this vast emptiness. This sandy little hill. And then I'm back out to searching in the sand. What's going on? Where's the octopus? Eventually, I just kind of get worried and say screw it, I'll just film whatever I see. I'm not gonna save the battery. Of course, there's always these little feather sea stars, and there was a shrimp in this one. This feather sea star had about 50 damselfish, and they were hilarious, so I stopped to film them. But I was sitting here filming them, and then all of a sudden I realized there's like none there anymore. So I picked up the camera and went to move, and then I looked over, and all the damsels had went and hid, trying to get away from my camera or the light. It was pretty hilarious. But I felt bad, so I just left them alone. Didn't want to bother them too much. So this guy is, I think, a snake blenny, and they're really hard to film. But my marine biologist friend wants to get one on camera, And this one's really big, so I'm trying really hard to catch him on film. You can kind of see his head and his tail sticking out. They look like a snake, but it's a blenny. He's really cool, but really shy. Not too easy to film. I kept trying, but it was just hard to even get close. This is zoomed in pretty far. So this whole dive site is covered in these little tiny bright yellow nudibranch. They're just everywhere. They're about the size of my fingernail, and I really just ignore them, but I was really looking for something to film at the end of this dive since I didn't find any octopus, and I started filming these. This little guy was hilarious. He must have bumped into a stinging hydroid and he just sucked in his face. Alright, now for the grand finale. This guy kind of saved the episode. At the very end of the dive, at maybe 3 meters, I ran into this weird freaking snail, I guess. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I actually thought it was an octopus under a shell at first, because you see that a lot here. But it was just a huge freaking snail. I was like, how does he get all that stuff inside the shell? My guide and some friends later told me that this one was probably harboring a whole ton of eggs underneath, and that he was looking for a spot to bury them, and that it's super rare that I actually caught it on film out in the day. In fact, some of my friends said they'd never seen him in Darwin, and they'd only seen him in Anilau and Indonesia at night, and never with eggs like this. So apparently this is rare footage. I'm not even sure what kind of snail it is. Maybe a cone snail? I don't know. So there's really not a lot that I can say about this dude, except for he was hilarious looking. He was about the size of a dinner plate, but his little shell thing was only about fist size. I was just laughing like, how does he get all that stuff inside that shell? And it was also a cool color. Kind of matched his shell. Yeah, like I said, there's not a lot I could say about this little dude, or big dude. I don't know what its species it is even. Hopefully you guys can tell me in the comments below. Maybe you know what, or you've seen it before. But I did get a lot of footage, so I'm not going to show it all because it's probably kind of boring. But he's pretty cool anyway. And this is what it looks like. I mean, look at all that barren sand just in the middle of nowhere. Not great for snorkeling, I bet. I didn't even need the tripod, just plopped it down. I got way too much footage of this little dude, but he was kind of cool. Anyways, great dive.
Woo, that was a fun dive. So, as you can see, I didn't get much footage, let alone an octopus. It sucks for you guys. I couldn't get any octopus on this dive, but man, it's hard to be mad. I was just in my zen spot, you know. I'm diving here in paradise, 29-degree water, nice clear vision everywhere, fish all around, and then I surface here on the white sand beaches and palm trees and 33-degree weather. Man, it does not suck to be here. It does suck that I didn't find an octopus though. I know that's my job. That's what these videos are about. But I guess you're just gonna have to continue watching because I'm not done yet. I'm gonna go have a break, sort out where I'm gonna go diving next, and you guys are gonna have to stay tuned because the series continues. Who knows? Maybe I never find an octopus, but you're never gonna hear me complaining about searching.
And that's all the critters I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and while you're at it, the bell notification so you never miss a critter episode. Let's take a look at some of the top comments from recent videos. The first one says, "We love the channel. Great to see you just being yourself and chasing what you're passionate about. Enjoy the fact you interact with other channels and give challenges, and enjoy seeing you show up on other channel as a guest presenter. We'll love to see more of your behind the scenes on video equipment and setup are always helpful too. Also agree that Descending was an awesome series. I think it's still on iTunes. Thanks for the kind words, everything Scuba. I'm definitely gonna find Descending eventually. The next comment says, be yourself and do what you love doing and you can't go wrong. One idea, to keep yourself from burning out, maybe focus on a single location that's easy and cheap for you to get to and capture everything that happens there over the course of several months. When certain critters are dominant, when they fade out, the biology behind the changes. Once you've gathered enough footage, you could have enough for a proper longer documentary. Sort of like the Octopus teacher guy. Actually, when I was watching the Octopus teacher, that's exactly what I was thinking, that I could do that. And that's a pretty good idea, Captain Eelgrass. I could just dive side, pick a good one, and see what happens and what changes, what are local residents that never leave. I'm gonna have to think about that one. If you guys want a chance of me reading your comment, just leave a comment here on the latest video. If you like this video, you'll probably like either of these two, so click one and enjoy. See you guys on the next one.